When it comes to difficult stars in Super Mario 64, only a few come to mind. Generally, most of them are related to 100 coins, or traversing areas where it is easy to die. On the other side of the spectrum, you have super easy stars. But then there's a third category that I like to call broken stars. Now, that's just me applying a personal label to something, and you might call them something entirely different. But the gist is, these are stars within the game that are supposed to be achieved through a certain mechanic, but lots of players won't even do that mechanic to achieve it. Now, for these stars in particular, I want to rule out the obvious speedrunning mechanics, or exploits that players can use to collect stars faster and easier than normal. That's not what this is about. A skilled player who understands the wall mechanics at Whomp's Fortress and can align their camera correctly can grab blast away the wall without destroying the wall. That's cool, and of course an incredible find, but your average Joe playing Super Mario 64 for the first time probably isn't going to do that. So let's talk about stars the developers put out into the world with intended mechanics that most players, even new ones, tend to skip entirely. So I got the idea for this video a while ago, when I was attempting to complete Super Mario 64 while holding a cork box the entire time. Reason being is holding a box changes the mechanics of the game. If your goal is to carry a box, that means your momentum and movement options are severely hindered. You also can't rely on other jumping abilities like wall kicks, jumping into a ledge grab, etc. So oftentimes you take the slowest route available, and that's when I found myself at Wet Dry World, sitting on top of a platform waiting to pass through the shocking Aerolifts. And that's when I thought to myself, when was the last time I ever did this using the Aerolifts? I mean, think about it. There is a ton of simple ways to get this star that doesn't require the Aerolifts at all. But at this point in the game, most players are familiar with the long jump. And if they aren't, Tall Mountain is about to give them a lesson. You can long jump from the start to this puzzle section straight to the end. No need to use the Aerolifts at all. Or you can just warp to the end of the puzzle by stumbling upon the invisible warp. You're also able to raise the water level straight up to where the box is, and you can just ground pound through it. Now, of course, there's always going to be a lot of different ways to obtain stars, but it's interesting to me that when Shocking Aerolifts was created as a star, that the developers took the time to create unique moving platforms that are only found in this area. Yet, a third-rate duelist could just long jump with ease to the end, or just skip it in a multitude of ways. I compared this puzzle to Tricky Triangles at Rainbow Ride simply because it introduces a new level mechanic to the game that is designed for the player to navigate. Tricky Triangles being timed platforms that are sloped in the bottom. At least with Tricky Triangles, a new player wouldn't fudge it right off the bat. Shocking Aerolifts is probably the one star in the game that an equal amount of average players just skipped entirely, bypassing the level intentions completely. And because these Aerolifts aren't used anywhere else, it's kinda sad that this puzzle is severely unused. There's a journey you're supposed to take, but most players simply don't take it. Which brings us to our next star. Let's go to Tall Mountain. So Mysterious Mountainside is a star that honestly has almost all its difficulty sucked out of it as well. You're supposed to go down this giant slide that has a deadly wrong path to get spit out on the underside near the star. But you can just jump and kick off the area where the Chuckia is at to skip all of that. Now, the interior of the slide is still an area you'll find yourself in when going for the 100 coin star, but it's the other level mechanics surrounding the star that makes me wonder. Honestly, you might not get your jump kick right the first time you do it, and you'll probably hit the ground down below when you fail. But the thing is, this area you just fell down to is right at the start of the level. Not only that, but there's an upwards wind that'll take you right back up top to attempt your skip again. So a player can just start the stage, run off into the wind, and then attempt the skip with ease. Now, I will say this cutaway section of the map won't initially be spotted by a player who has never been to this level before. So it does have that going for it. But because the supporting level design allows a player a simple reset to skip the intended path so easily, it really does a disservice to all the time they put into the slide that is supposed to get you there. Now, the final star on this list can be argued one way or the other. You may not agree with me, and that's entirely okay. But let's talk about Stand Tall on the 4 pillars and inside the Ancient Pyramid. Going after the 4 pillars by default allows you to easily obtain inside the Ancient Pyramid without completing any of the Giant Pyramid dungeon. This whole expansive area and challenge are skipped. This is because you spawn an elevator that is right by the Ancient Pyramid star, and if you jump to the star quick enough, you'll be able to grab it. So let me explain why this star is arguable. 1. A new player wouldn't even know the Stand Tall on the 4 pillars star would exist without having already completed inside the Ancient Pyramid. They are star 4 and star 5 respectively, and the text for star 5 won't show up or be selectable until star 4 is beaten. However, there's a lot of things that will draw the player to the pillars right off the bat, both the red coins and the star in the talons of the bird. Each pillar has a coin on top too, which draws further curiosity. Lots of the time, players collect the red coin star without the star being selected as well, so it's very possible that someone would open the pyramid early. And if you open the pyramid early, you bypass the pyramid interior. Well, at least for this star. If you die at IROC and enter the level again, you can attempt the star skip again. So even if you miss it, you can give it another go. I'm generally surprised that they didn't just add some sort of block up here to prevent this from happening. I suppose grabbing the star through this method cuts out the monotony of having to scale the pyramid again to get secrets of the pyramid puzzle, but you could also come through the top to grab pyramid puzzle as well, so I don't know. Anyways, can you think of any other stars that fall into this category? Not specifically the more advanced speedrun skips, but just by normal mechanics. I'd love to hear your thoughts on which stars you think are unintentionally broken in the comments below. But anyways, until my next video, cheers!